Hello yarn lovers! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet these super cute granny square chickens. And if you would like to stay up to date with all the new tutorials and pattern releases, along with blog hops and other fun stuff, then sign up to my mailing list. I will leave a link in the description. So to make your cute little chickens, we're going to start off with 2 daisy granny squares. The materials you'll need is some cotton Aran weight yarn or worsted weight yarn. I'm using 3 colours. You can use as many colours as you like. You're going to need a 4.5mm hook, some scissors, a darning needle, some safety eyes and some toy stuffing. So let's start with our granny square. So you want to put a slip knot on your hook, and chain 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and join with a slip stitch to that first chain to form a ring. If you prefer, you can use the magic ring for this. If you work over this tail as you go, you can then pull that tight, and it works in a similar way to the magic ring. So I'm going to chain 1. This doesn't count as a stitch. I'm going to put a single crochet into the ring, and I'm going to stack another single crochet on top. So I'm just going to put my hook through this left leg, pull up a loop and finish off that single crochet stitch. This is called a stacked single crochet. I'm now going to go ahead and put 11 double crochet into the ring. For a total of 12 double crochet. So if you've worked over your tail, you can just pull that and it will close the centre. And then we're going to finish the round by joining with a slip stitch to this first stitch. And then we can fasten off this colour. So we're ready to start round 2. I'm going to put my hook in between 2 double crochet stitches. It doesn't matter where you join in the new colour. Just put your hook between the stitches, lay the new colour over the hook and pull it through to the front. And we're going to start a beginning popcorn stitch. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put 2 double crochet into that same space. It's 1 and whoops, and 2. Now for the popcorn stitches, we're going to take a hook out of the loop. We're going to put a hook into the top of this chain 3, back, and then we're going to pull that loop through and then chain 2. So in the next space between stitches, we're going to work our popcorn stitch. So we're going to start by putting 3 double crochet into that space between the stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And again, we're going to take our hook out, put it into that first stitch, pick up that loop and then draw it through, and then chain 2. And we're going to continue doing this in every space around. So it's 3 double crochet, remove the hook, put it into that first stitch, pick up that loop, draw it through and then chain 2. So you go ahead and put your popcorn stitches into the space between each of our double crochet, and then I'll meet you back when we're ready to finish up the round. So I'm coming up to the end of the round. You should have a total of 12 daisy petals, and then we're just going to join with a slip stitch to the top of this first popcorn stitch. So we're ready to start round 3. We're first going to join with a slip stitch into this next space. And now we're ready to start our beginning cluster stitch. So we'll chain 2 to start. This counts as the first part of our cluster stitch. And I'm going to put 3 double crochet into the same space, but we're just going to work the first part of the stitch. So yarn over, put your hook into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and we're going to do this twice more. So that counts as a total of 4 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and the chain 2. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops, and then chain 2. And we're going to repeat this now into each space between our popcorn stitches. So for our cluster stitch, we're going to do 4 partial double crochets into that space. So yarn over, hook goes into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Do this 3 more times. For a total of 4 double crochet, then yarn over and pull through all of those loops and chain 2. So you go ahead and put a 4 double crochet cluster in between each space and then a chain 2 all the way around. Once you've worked all the way around, it should look something like this. Don't worry if it's starting to bowl a little bit, that's completely fine. Once we add a few more rounds, it will flatten itself out. So we're going to finish off the round by joining with a slip stitch to the top of this first cluster. And then we can fasten off this colour. We're going to join our new colour in any space between our clusters, so just put your hook in between the cluster stitches, draw the yarn through and chain 1, and then we're going to put a stacked single crochet in that same space. So single crochet into that space, then we'll stack another one on top by putting our hook through this left leg and working a single crochet stitch. So this counts as our first double crochet. We're going to put 2 more double crochet into that same space. It's 1, 2. We're going to chain 2 for the corner space and then put 3 more double crochet into that same space. It's 1, 2, 3. We're now going to work into the next space across, and we're going to put 4 half double crochet in there. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to do exactly the same into the next space. That's 4 half double crochet, and we're now ready to make our next corner. So the corners are always going to be the same: 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So we're now ready to work in our spaces across the sides again. So you go ahead and put 4 half double crochet in each of the next 2 spaces, then work your corner again, 4 half double crochet in the next 2 spaces, another corner, 4 half double crochet in the next 2 spaces, and then we're ready to finish up the round. So I'm coming up to the end of the round. We're simply going to finish off by joining with a slip stitch to the top of our first stitch. Now if you want a more seamless look, you can use the reverse slip stitch join. So keep your yarn to the front, take your hook and put it into the stitch from the back through the top of the stitch. Grab that loop. You have to kind of turn your hook round as you're doing this, and then pull it through to the back, and then pull it through that other loop on your hook. And this will give you a slightly more seamless join, and it also puts the yarn right in the middle of that stitch, ready to start the next round. So to start the next round, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put a stack stitch into that same stitch. So it's single crochet and then another single crochet on top. And now I'm going to put a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to work our corner space. So in the corner we're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet. We want to keep our corners a little bit smaller on this round so that we can add the safety eyes. We're now going to put a double crochet in each stitch across the sides. And once you reach the next corner, 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, all into that same corner space. So you go ahead and work around your granny square with a double crochet in each stitch, and in each corner space 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to finish up the round. So we're at the end of the round. We're just going to join with a slip stitch to the top of this first stitch. And we're ready to start our last round. So I'm just going to chain 1, stack stitch in that same stitch, stacked single crochet. This counts as our first double crochet. And this round is exactly the same as the last round. We're simply going to put a double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and in each corner 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So you go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to join our squares together. So you want to place your squares wrong sides together with the right sides facing outwards. And we're going to seam our squares along 3 edges. So we're going to work a slip stitch join across, down and across, and then we're going to leave this side open to add our stuffing. So you want to put a slip knot on your hook, and then we're just going to join with a slip stitch into these corner spaces. So just put your hook through the corners and work a slip stitch to join. Now we're going to be working through the back loops only for this joining method. So we're looking for our first stitch, and we're going to put our hook through the back loop. Then we're going to look for the first stitch on the other square and go through the back loop, and you need to keep your working yarn in the middle of the 2 squares. Then you'll yarn over and pull your hook through all of those loops. So I'll show you again. You're going through the back loop, looking for the next stitch, the back loop, yarn over and pull through all of those loops. And this way we're going to neatly join our squares together. And this creates a really nice join that we'll be able to work into when we're adding our beak and the comb. So this is how the join looks. You get a nice row of slip stitches going across the edge. So you go ahead and join all 3 seams and then fasten off, and we're ready to add our beak and comb. I've joined around 3 sides, and I'm just going to finish up by putting a slip stitch into that corner space, working through both sides there, and then we can fasten off. So we're going to add the beak next, so make sure your square has the open side here to the right, and we're going to add our beak here. The eye will go in this corner here. Going to add our beak on this side and then the comb at the top here. So I'm using this mustard colour again, the colour I used for the centre of the daisies for the beak. Going to put a slip knot on my hook. So if you find the corner stitch, the top left corner stitch here, we're going to count down 5 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in this stitch we're going to put a single crochet. Like so. In the next stitch we're going to put a double crochet and a treble, so we yarn over twice for a treble, then going to chain 1. In the next stitch we're going to put a treble and a double crochet into that same stitch, and then we're going to end with a single crochet into the next stitch and then fasten off. So we're then going to take a darning needle and thread it onto our ends. And you want to take this stitch, you want to insert the needle into the next stitch and then go through to the other side. And what you're going to do is just pull it enough so that that stitch joins in there, and then we're going to just sew that in on the other side to secure it. So just pull it tight, make a little loop, and then you're going to tie a little knot there. And you can do it once more if you like. And you could weave in your end if you like. I'm just going to leave my ends stuffed inside, so I'm just going to trim that a little bit. And then you're going to do exactly the same with this other end. So your beak should look something like this. We're now ready to add the comb. I'm just using the same colour as I used for the petals, but again you can use any colour you like. Now for the comb, we're going to start again from this corner stitch. So again, with a slip knot on my hook, we're counting 8 stitches from this corner stitch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going to join with a slip stitch in that stitch. So into the next stitch we're going to put a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. In the following stitch, a double crochet and a half double crochet. We're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch. In the following stitch, a half double crochet and a double crochet. In the next stitch we're going to put 2 trebles, that's 1 and 2. In the following stitch, a double crochet and a half double crochet. And then slip stitch into the next stitch. And for the final part of our comb, in the following stitch, half double crochet and a double crochet. In the next stitch, a double crochet and a half double crochet. and then we're going to slip stitch into the following stitch, and then you can fasten off, and you're going to sew these ends in exactly the same way as you did for the beak. So we're now ready to add in our eyes and stuff our chicken. Now if you're going to make your chicken the way I've made mine, you can see a little bit of the stuffing poking through, and also because the safety eyes are not actually attached to the fabric, they're just in the corner, they're not very secure, so it's not suitable for you to use this as a toy, only for home decor. But if you did want to use it as a toy, I recommend that before you join your squares together, you just sew a piece of lining fabric on the back of each square and then use embroidery to embroider on the eyes. So I've got my safety eyes here. So we're just going to put the eyes into this corner here. And then you pop your little washer on. The washers go on so the curved edge, the concave side is facing upwards. So you pop your washer on and just push that in. And we're going to do the same with the other eye. And again, because these are just going through the corners, they're not safe for you to use these eyes if you want it to be a toy. So we're going to put the other washer on, just push that in. And there we have instant personality once you add your eyes. Okay, so we're ready to stuff now. So I'm just using some toy stuffing. Make sure you push your stuffing into the corners. Keep adding stuffing until your chicken is as plump as you would like him to be, or her. What you can do here is with these two ends, you can tie these together. This is going to easily show you how the fold goes, and then we're going to seam across this end. So usually this does not want to stay completely closed, but it will just help while you're sewing if you just tie that together a little bit, and you're probably going to want to add a bit more stuffing before you start sewing. So I'm just going to take a length of the same colour cotton, around about 3 times the width of where we need to join. So I'm just going to join in this corner here, and I'm going to tie the end on. Like so, and then just tuck that inside. And I'm just going to start joining with a whip stitch. So I'm going through both loops on each side, and then just pulling that together, and then going into the next stitch underneath both loops. And drawing it together. Feel like you need a bit more stuffing, you can add this as you go along. Once you get to the centre, you can just undo that little bow that you've tied there and just tuck those inside. And you're just going to continue all the way across. once you've worked all the way across, all you need to do is then just sew in that last end, just hide it in that seam and then push it through inside the chicken and cut that end off. And your finished chicken will look something like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're looking for more holiday crochet projects, then check out this playlist next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.